Hey everybody, Paul here, and this is a LRRTech video, and now we're going to be talking about the card recognizer today and how to install it on your own system. I did do this as a live stream, but I felt like I kind of got sidetracked on talking about a bunch of different stuff that, while interesting, doesn't pertain directly to installing the card recognizer on your own system. So I wanted to do this pre-recorded video so I don't get distracted, and will hopefully take you step by step in how to install the card recognizer so you can use it yourself. So before we start, you're going to need, obviously you're going to need a webcam in order to do the taking pictures of the cards. You're going to need the Deckedbuilder software, which is available from deckedbuilder.com. And that's available for Mac and Windows, and everything here should be cross-platform. And then what you'll want to do is install a system called Node or node.js, depending on what you're doing. And that's just the server system that is going to combine, that is going to sort of run in the back end and connect the different parts together. So once you've installed Node, then you're going to want to grab the actual software here. So you can see the address is github.com/paul-lrr/nifty-recognizer. It's just right up there. And this has the software for, that's the server that does the connections, and then it also has the piece that actually shows the cards. Of course, you're also going to want a streaming software, either XSplit or OBS are the two that I've used, and this should definitely work with. So you're going to download this repository. You can either clone it through Git, if that's how you like to do things, or you can just download the zip file of it. You can see here, download zip file. And then what you want to do is install it. So the Node system comes with a piece of software called NPM, or Node Packet Manager, that just grabs all the dependencies for the software. So you get NPM, go to, so you download it, open up a command line, and go to the folder that you installed it into, and then do the npm install. It'll write out a whole bunch of stuff, and then hopefully it will be successful, and you can then start the server. And you do that by just opening in your command prompt again. So this is the kind of stuff you should be getting from the npm install. It'll say it's getting a whole bunch of different things, which are the dependencies for the software. And then you can just say node index.js, and we'll say Nifty server is running on port 80. And if you get that message, then you know that things are working. And so once that is working, then you can go into your Deckedbuilder software, install that, make sure that's working. And then you have to make one small change to the Deckedbuilder stuff. So you can see down here, in order to connect Deckedbuilder to the server in the back end, you need to add a special configuration directive to the configuration file for Deckedbuilder. So once you've installed Deckedbuilder, you want to go to this location right here. And I don't know actually what it would be on a Mac. Maybe somebody can tell me what that will be, and I can update the README file. But it will be in a similar location wherever Deckedbuilder is installed. And then you can open up your Deckedbuilder software here, open up the configuration file, and you want to just add this line at the bottom, orb match URL, and then the value is localhost/cardmatch/ and then a 0 in curly brackets. You can just copy that from the GitHub page. And what that does is the OrbCam match URL is it tells it to send any card matches to a URL that you specify, and the URL we're specifying is localhost, so the computer that's currently on. Card match is just a handy divider that I've chosen. It could theoretically be something else, but you'd have to change the server to be looking for that different one. And then the 0 in the curly brackets will be replaced by the what's called the multiverse ID of the card. So when a card gets recognized, the Deckedbuilder software will send the multiverse ID of that card, which is a number that is generated by Wizards of the Coast and is unique for every Magic card. It'll send that to our card matching system, and that will allow our card matching system to make sure it gets the right card. So once you've got that, you can open up Deckedbuilder and load up the Cardcam 2 beta screen. There's the Cardcam and the Cardcam 2 beta, and you want the beta one because it's better and does more of what we want. And you can select up to 4 of the sets on the side here. So it's got all the sets all the way up to Kaladesh. And obviously new sets will be added as they come out. So for instance, right now I've got a couple of cards here from Odyssey, and I've got a couple of cards here from, let's see, I've got some cards here from Mirrodin Besieged. So I can check those things. And then let me just do a quick test here. So I've got my webcam set up here, you see. Obviously, you can put your webcam in a more attractive place. Right now, it's just attached to the side of my monitor. But let's put this Dross Ripper here, and you can see it pops up immediately with Dross Ripper. Let's try an Odyssey card. Boom, there we go. So it's very fast and very good. The less sets that you have selected, the faster it's going to go. So that's what you want to try to do. But yeah, it's a very, very good recognizing system. And it can deal with cards at, different angles and different heights. I can have the card come in here sideways, and it still grabs it, no problem. And so now what we have to do is make this show up on the overlay. So what you want to do is open up your streaming software, and I'll tell you how to do it in XSplit, just because that's what I'm more used to, but OBS has some similar capabilities. And then you can just add it into your scene by going to the... no, I can't show you this because I can't screen capture XSplit using XSplit. But I can... you go to your add, and then you want to add a web page URL. And then you can see on the GitHub page... once the server is running, so you want to have that card-view.html. You want to add that to your scene. So when I have that added to my scene, you have something like this. Like this. So, and that will only show up once that server is running. So make sure this is still here where it says Nifty server running on port 80, and you want to keep this window open while you're using it. So we've got our card here, and it just looks like the blank back of a card right now, which is sort of its default state. But if we go to the recognizer and we throw a card under here, boom! Look at that, it changed. So now what's happening is it's sending it to the server in the backend, and then the backend server is sending it to this piece that is in the streaming program. So that part is working. So you can put your camera wherever you want, somewhere. Obviously, we have ours hanging from the ceiling and pointed at the middle of the table, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. You could have it right beside the table or anything like that. Now, the other part of this, which adds a little bit more functionality, is the card controller, or card-controller.html. So if you just want to, you can just open up a web page or open up a browser window and go to that cardcontroller.html. So if I just open that up in a new window, you can see what I have here is just a big square that says drop image here. And then at the bottom it says clear, and then it says remove override right there, but that is grayed out. And so what that is I can, in fact, I have it open here as a smaller window that I can show you. Boop. Okay, so it's open and smaller. Let me just move that watermark over so you can see a little better. So there's the drop image here. And so what this is if you want to override the card. So it's you don't necessarily only have cards that are coming from the reader. Sometimes you would want to just put a card on, just show a card on the screen that isn't one that you have physically, right? So what you can do is you can go to the gatherer and you could search for a card, say let's say Lightbringer. And then I can just take that card and drag it over to my reader here, where it says drop image here. Boom. And you can see it changes to that. So we can just look at, all the Kaladesh inventions. Ooh, look at that. All pretty. And it doesn't have to be Gatherer that these cards are from, by the way. It's handy just because they're, Gatherer is easy to search, but it could be, magiccards.info or anything on other websites like that. And then when you don't want to do that anymore, you can hit that clear button, and that'll put it back to a card back. And then the other aspect of that is if you look at the recognizer, if I've got, say, cost account, so that sets it to there. You can see if I put this under there, if you look right there, you can see that it just keeps recognizing cost account. It's like, oh, still there, still there, still there, still there, still there, still there. So if I go to here and I would drag over here to replace it, it'll replace it with the card that I'm dragging over there, and then immediately change back to cost account because cost account is continually being recognized. So what I've done is implemented a system, this sort of override system. So it goes there, and now it's stuck on whatever card that I dragged onto it, and I can change that card. But it's stuck on whatever card I last dragged onto it until either I remove the override. So if I remove the override, it goes back to cost account, or I put a different card under the recognizer. So if it's not cost account anymore, if it's instead, sacred rights, then that'll replace the card that I overrode it with. So that just gives you a little bit of flexibility for cards that you don't necessarily have physically, or sometimes the card recognizer doesn't work totally perfectly, and so if you need to replace the card that the card recognizer thought it saw with the correct one or anything like that. So hopefully that makes sense. Feel free to let me know if it doesn't. And thank you to everybody who has tried it out, and let me know if you use it on your stream, because I'd like to see it in action on somebody else's stream. So thanks, and bye.